Come on up here, African. We appreciate you coming out tonight.
Excuse me. I guess what I'm essentially doing, I think I'm in an unusual situation, a situation that I certainly didn't plan to be in. My mother told me that, in her case, the Lord Jesus Christ, in her case, or Jesus Christ, I've been told lately because I am studying the Quran some, that the Lord is not a word I should be using when I mention Jesus Christ. But in any event, that I'm in a situation, I've been placed in a situation, and that you don't always end up doing in your life what you plan to do. Sometimes you're called to do things. At this point, I'm trying to find I think through my experiences, basically what I am able to talk on, and I think I've gotten some first-hand knowledge on, is our place, what's happening to us in this legal system, and what the media is essentially doing to us. And I'm trying to find a way to mobilize and take advantage of this unusual situation that if I'm anything, I am an attraction at this point. There's something about this perceived infamy. I just got invited to go and speak to Oxford, of all places, in England. So I'm going there next week to speak in Oxford, and I'm trying to get my thesis together, or at least get it organized, so I'll be able to best communicate the things that I think I need to communicate, and I think that quite possibly all of this obviously means something, this thing that I've gone through. I focus on the media. I see what the media has have done to me. Obviously, I see what it's done to everyone. I've paid a lot of attention to Marlon Brando a few weeks ago, and the things that that happened with Marlon Brando, and I don't understand why nobody tried to intellectualize exactly what he was saying there. They were able, the Jewish community was able to focus on shutting him up. In 3 days, they had the man literally on his knees apologizing. Yet at the same time, we had some individuals, one a black man, who was able to make, to me, what was even more damaging racial remarks, when they talked about the jury in my case, that the minute that they saw this group of people, they knew they couldn't get a verdict. I think about my sister who's sitting right here. I think about my mother, and I think about that jury, because I saw a bunch of my sisters and mothers on that jury, and I was thinking, how could these people get away with saying that? I thought that was a slap in the face to every black person in America, that they were saying because they're black that they can't make an informed decision, that they would let, if the evidence showed, a murderer go free. And I wondered why in the community I didn't hear, hey man, we want an apology. Right. And I realized that's because, well, in some areas we were getting that, and I realized that I don't know, some way we haven't been able to mobilize like the Jewish community has mobilized. I see a commercial, you see it, a movie started today called The Great White Hype. Yeah. And there's a line that he says that when I was in the theater and I saw it, and he was saying that, you know, black unity was like jumbo shrimp, you know, and and that has stuck with me. And I say it's supposed to be funny, but it isn't funny. It's just not something that we should be laughing at. And so what I'm trying to do, and I'm spending some time with my brothers over here, Minister Tony, where is Mohammed? Did Mohammed come back? Abedin, who has really been helping me. Mabel over here, pardon me? Yes. Yeah, who I've been meeting with, trying to find a way to mobilize this, try to find a way, there's a thing I call in the legal system. When I was down in county jail, sometimes your eyes are open. I think what I've done is something that, what my life has done, I should say, is something that's happened with a lot of black men in America. I grew up in the projects. You know, no one has to tell me you act black. Hey, I grew up in the projects. I know about being black. I am black. Most of the causes, once I started getting over at the end of the 60s, when after the riots here and everywhere, when Mr. Johnson, the president, said he had a directive to corporate America, we have to do something, we have to hire more blacks. Hey, OJ was the man. They hired me to be the first major spokesman for corporate America. And what I did was, over the years, I've been involved in the community financially But what we tend to do is try, you were talking about it with these groups, the Brûlée, you tend to find yourself protecting your place in society. So what I thought is I can send money to the links. I can send money to my neighborhood. And you know, I was involved. But you tend to think that you're immune to some things. You know what's happening out there is still happening, but you're hoping it change, and you're really fooling yourself, saying that everything's changed. Until I got down there to CJ, with the, county jail, which I now call CGPJ, county colored people jail, because there's all blacks and browns that I saw down there. And one of the things that I want to focus on is what I like to call selective prosecution. That we have a situation here where I noticed that the statistics of who commit crimes in this country is pretty indicative to what our population is. But who they decide to prosecute, it's totally out of whack, because they're prosecuting us and the Hispanics. They're not prosecuting the whites. And those are the areas that I'm trying to focus on. The media, how the media has treated us, how, I mean, this unity thing, I just don't know how to go about it doing it. I didn't know. For the last 3 or 4 months, I've been formulating a lot of thoughts, getting a lot of information. One of the reasons I'm here to listen to Brother Copeland is try to get some ideas that I could take over to Oxford with me, but I didn't know a way to my forum, or my venue, or my microphone here in this country. What am I going to do? Who am I going to mobilize? I can talk now, people listen, but they will let me go on these white shows. They'll let me go on I'm trying to think of, but besides, oh, well, not BET, I'm talking about these, Larry King is the name. They'll let me go on Larry King. They'll let me go on to Rollo if I talk about Bruno Magli's shoes and gloves. Right. They don't want to hear they don't want to hear the fact that, hey, you had to love it. Well, I can get very technical here, but they don't want it. They don't want me when I question why in America we have a system of justice. When the Menendez's case came down the first time, you had 6 people on both of those juries, 12 people that voted for acquittal for those boys. 12 people, even though they went outside to reload, to come in, to finish their mother off. Didn't one person in the news say that that was a racist decision, that was racially motivated? But they're able to say that about my jury, and they're able to get away with it because we haven't been able to, evidently, we haven't been able to mobilize and put pressure on them. I believe that we have a constitution in this United States that I'm noticing applies to everybody. I sat there and watched this boy, Ted Kennedy, stand in moral judgment of Clarence Thomas. And I was saying, how can that happen? But this is America. He was convicted of nothing. I sat there and watched this guy, John Wayne Bobbitt, who a court decided his wife was justified in cutting his penis off. This man can go out, he can speak anywhere he wants to speak, he can make tapes, and they will not even let me talk. I can't even buy advertising for my video. So I'm I'm in the community. I'm trying to hang around people that I think can better educate me to the things. Thank you. I think I have a unique opportunity here, and I'd like to be able to take advantage of it, and I'd like to not possibly once again let you down. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm trying to formulate a lot of things.
Yeah, we got the information.